I have the honor to moderate and give a short introduction to the first panel of today's conference. And I kindly ask everybody in the panel to come to sit next to me. And I may introduce Gordana Boric, professor from the University of Applied Sciences Wern in Zagreb, together with her colleague Daniela. She's also professor there. Welcome. Thank you very much. I'm the manager of Design Austria in Vienna, based in Vienna. We are an organization, an association of designers. We represent at the moment approximately 1,300, most of them self-employed designers, and support them in their daily business life. We have, except after these membership, so to say, a really active role in various EU projects. One of them is this Erasmus Plus project you have been just introduced to, which is really very important because, as we heard yesterday at the beginning of this conference, there's a big gap between the education system in design and the professional life, what companies want from the designers that they know that they are able to do. Let me shortly introduce some socio-economic facts from our side, from Austria. I think I'll move, or perhaps I can see the presentation. You just go on, please. Yeah. Facts and figures about the creative industry scene and the design scene in Austria. Still raising. We have about 30,000 companies living, working in this area, in the whole area of creative industries. About 10,000, or nearly 10,000 of those are design companies. If you look at where they are situated, or where they are based, so to say, you can say that most of them are around the big cities and close to educational institutions. Altogether there are about 40 design educational institutions in Austria. From the highest level, which is the university level, of course, there are 3, up to the lowest level, which are private courses, which last approximately a year, a very short education, but still it is an education in design. These 10,000 designers, as I mentioned, are around the big cities, around industry, around educational institutions. You see the dark spots here on the Austrian maps. We speak about the so-called design clusters, because you all know that the forms of working together changed rapidly in the last couple of years. There are platforms, networks, hubs, as they are called, or whatever, so where creative people, for one project, very quickly, very fast, can move together, work on this project, and split up again. So it is very important that they are close to industry and close to the educational institutions. There are, of course, some grey spots on this map. 2 provinces, which is Burgenland and Osttirol. There it is rather difficult at the moment to start a business because of lack of industry, lack of educational institutions. If we look at the structure of the design industry in Austria, it is very similar to many countries in Europe. It is a very small, structured industry. 90% of all those designers are so-called SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, or if we look at the definition from the European Commission, it is less than 9 employees, which is rather big. They have 9 employees actually, but if you put this down again to smaller figures, we can say that more than half, 55%, are really one-man and one-woman shows, self-employed designers which work on their own. But not only Macedonia or Croatia, most of our countries are very small. Thus the market in Austria itself is too little, too small. And if we look at the export figures, and we will hear more from Mr. Stachel, I think, on these economic figures then. If you look at the export figures, they are quite enormous actually, to be honest, because 17% of all the designers earn more than 50% of their income from abroad. That means not from Austrian companies situated in Austria, but from companies all over the world, especially, of course, within the European Union.
We decided to start with this presentation just to give you an idea how difficult the problem is that we were trying to do with our project. So when we dig a little bit into the problem with designers, we have discovered that it is not easy task to resolve, and that this multiple personality which is required from one designer really deserves even new study program. So we started with something that we call study program for undergraduate students, entrepreneurship in applied arts and design. So we really wanted to check how we, as experts in entrepreneurship, developing business skills, can help designers to be better in their job, or not to be left to their own capabilities to resolve and to learn about these difficult tasks and issues. So this is a little bit about our project, and I have to say we really had great partners. And of course it was not an easy partnership, because mixture of designers with all their creativity, and with us, with business skills, with deadlines, with paying attention to all these boring things for designers, were sometimes quite challenging. However, we managed to design quite a successful, quite good program. The idea was also to exercise the new challenge, and that is something to do with Croatian qualifications framework, which was just introduced and which was just presented to the education audience. And we really tried to be the pioneer in that kind of exercise, which really expanded our views, expanded our ideas how teaching can be more fruitful. So we really wanted to help students of design, or recent graduates of design from graduate design schools, to understand that they are not alone, and we can help them in a way to be more productive. We really had a lot of opportunities to work together with our colleague designers, and from now on the whole process, because that's your language, you will understand, my colleague Daniela Dogan will explain how the whole process went.
Thank you. Well, today I'm coming from Faculty of Forestry. I'm employed there as a professor, but I was involved in this project. It was a very good one, but first one we made upon the highest level of education, means for faculties, and then was the leader. So you saw we started with occupational standards, then I will put back occupational standard, then made the qualification standards and the new curriculum. It seems that it was quite, well, not so easy job for designers, because we had followed some rules which are very annoying, administration, but we started to practice and practice and practice all the time. I like this kind of photos, also photos we made, and we practice in physical and in brain positions. So many pictures, many rules. It was just like this. Many of shapes and kind of different concepts. First concept was just like hourglass, then fish, then squares, then pyramids. We didn't know how to finish this kind of ideas. But suddenly we went to, it was part of the project, we went to Aalto University. And there we figured out that it is a great opportunity for our project to put something together, because if you are known with Aalto, they have a master level, they have some kind of triangle. They used to collect pupils or students from science, technical part and art part. So both of three kind of persons, they do together in master level. But it was a quite kind of challenge for us. We are dealing with bachelor levels, so we still didn't know which kind of students we will get. With whom will you work for? So this kind of thinking we called, no, it is not important which kind of persons you have in your classes. The important thing is to teach them how to think. So this kind of design thinking was the main goal for us and main idea which led us to the other concepts. So this was a curriculum mess of everything, so really messy. It's in Croatian, but I need to translate some of these. There are students, ideas, important tics, generalizations, all of us, some complexity, projects, everything. So finally, curriculum were made according some rules. So means that after all ideas, mental map and everything we started to do, we had to go straight to administration rules. It was very hard for designers. We made the main concept. So it means that we put together design model, then business model, and in the middle it was a kind of lab design studio. But we want some skills how to think out of box. It is the first exam. So after that they can come to first semester, and in this design studio they will learn build by projects. All of projects. So finally, I think that we stopped last week. We work also together. We start in some kind of pyramid. But still, is it a pyramid just on the bottom, like a hugest way, or it is a kind of, I don't know, when you have a circle, something like a tornado or something like this. So it was squared, just like this. And after 6th semester, it is in this way, in 3 years, in design studio, first we have projects, for example, 6 of them. After that we have to show them, and in second year have maybe 4 of them or 3 of them, and the third year, final semester, has been the final exam, means that they have to finish their study. And after that, in that meanings, they can have individual plan on learning somehow with mixture between designer and business model. Means that this design and business are theoretical part. It is really theoretical. Yesterday we heard from the meaning point of Milena, is it, or Biserka, sorry, that what is important in this design model, they are really theoretical, not only history or some design theoretical means how to draw, but how to draw in design studio means how to practice in real project, real life. So I hope that we will succeed. Nowadays we are in an accreditation part, and after 2 or 3 weeks we will continue.
Especially because you see this bachelor chart, the first program, Entrepreneurship Economics, we are one of the leading schools in Croatia for, I don't know, 15 years in that area. So why don't we share that with the designers? So you could see, how many expertise, and expert programs we have. So this is all what we could add to the programs for designers. And we would maybe start this year. We would start early with the procedure, but there is another study program with jumped in, that's film, TV, and multimedia. So we will have that additional experience and something else to bring to our colleagues designers. So this whole concept is aimed to help designers to understand better the business world, try to see not as the betray of their creativity and their ideas, if they put some efforts into understanding what really business world means and how they can benefit from that. And I don't know about designers, but we have already started to benefit from this cooperation.
Јас сакам во неколку минути да ви образложам едно големо истражување за дизајнот, поставено со следните тези. Дека економијата го диктира дизајнот, односно модата. Дека социолошкиот аспект зависи од третманот на жената во општеството. Дизајнот овозможува социјална припадност и престиж и естетиката е дел од самореализацијата на човекот. Како влијае економијата на модата? Например, во 1920 година беше модерно мини сукња, затоа што тоа беше година во која што имаше многу пари, имаше благосостојба во општеството и жените можеа да ги покажат своите свилени чорапи, негувани нозе и убавите чели. Меѓутоа, 29-та година, кога дојде до големата депресија, сукњата стана подолга, бидејќи жените не можеа да се доволно грижат за своето тело. Исто така има истражувања во кое што ефтините производи за убавина се трошат најмногу кога имате економска криза. Например, карминот се трошал најмногу кога општеството е најсиромашно, затоа што жените не можат да си дозволат повеќе од тоа. Исто така, висината на подпетицата укажува на тоа дека каква е состојбата, економската состојба во општеството. Имено 2009 година, која што беше шпицот на кризата, на новата депресија, услови да имаме најголема подпетица, затоа што жените, иако скромно облечени, ќе може да се чувствуваат многу сигурни. Работниците, кои што земаат само наемнина, не се мотивирани и се третираат само дел од машината, се третираат како предмет. Затоа пак неокласицизмот, чиј представник го извоив да биде Елтон Мајо и Абрахам Маслов, тие пак зборуваат со првите експерименти во хотор на Елтон Мајо е утврдено дека човекот е социјално битие на работа. Иако работи, иако создава профит, тој е социјално битие. Само социјалното битие може да даде дизајн, да даде креативна идеја. Теоријата на Абрахам Маслов е, тој не сонувал дека тоа ќе биде организациона теорија, бидејќи е психолог, и едниот и другиот социјален психолог првиот, но секако во менеджментот е многу застапена теоријата на Абрахам Маслов. Што таа зборува? Таа зборува дека човекот има хиерархија на основни потреби. Зошто ја избрав оваа теорија? Затоа што дизајнот е на две места актуализиран, во респектот и во социјалната припадност на човекот. Знаеме дека човекот има физиолошки потреби, кога се остваруваат физиолошките потреби, на никого не му ни текнува за дизајн. Важно е да биде човекот облечен и да има храна. Од кога човекот ќе направи некој свој дом или доста пари, тогаш се важни безбедносните security потреби. И ние често една српска пословица викаме чувај беле пари за црне дане, иако ова е време кога се чуваат црни пари за бели дани. Рековме дека човекот има потреба социјално да припаѓа, затоа постои љубов, религии, но постои и социјалната припадност. Многу луѓе ја обезбедуваат купувајќи скапи производи. Така да во Кина, например, некоја девојка која што цел месец работи, може да ги потроши парите на еден паричник од Луи Витон за да покаже една социјална мобилност. Престижот, респектот, исто така респектот за почитување, секој кој што ќе направи повеќе пари, купува Мерцедес, купува Ролекс и сака да се покаже во општеството, а тоа е производ на еден дизајн.
Thank you very much. Does everybody hear me? Yeah, it works. Yeah. My name is Stadl, Gerhard Stadl. I'm the commercial attaché at the Austrian Embassy in Skopje, and at the same time I'm head of the commercial office of the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber. So in one sentence, what do? We support Austrian companies in doing business here in Macedonia. Let's see whether we find our presentation. In the meantime, I can tell you a joke. I'm very pleased to be invited to this conference, and I'm giving you a presentation about the Austrian Business Climate Survey that we do every year. It's a survey among Austrian companies in Macedonia, what they think, what the problems and where the challenges are. So it's not 100% directly linked to design. It's nevertheless, I think, a good overview of what Austrian companies at the moment think. And we compared the results of last year with the results of this year. It's very small written, I don't know whether you can read it, but I will highlight the most important things. Most of them say that the current situation, the current economic situation in Macedonia is rather poor, rather flawed. So this is this part, it's 44%. So it became more pessimistic, the picture, by comparison to last year. That's the core message of this slide. I will only focus on the core messages of the slides. So, now it doesn't really work. I tell you when to skip to the next one, okay? Then we asked them about their future expectations, what it will look like in the year 2016 by comparison to last year. And again here, most of the companies say it will be similar like in 2015, the economic situation. Next slide, please. First we asked the current economic situation, the general economic situation, then we asked for the specific sector, and in the end we asked about the situation of the individual company. So this is the second question, where we asked about the specific situation of the sector where the company is active in. And here again, most of the companies say it will stay stable in 2016 by comparison to 2015, the general situation of the sector where the company is operating in. Nearly half of the companies here on the right side, it looks complicated, the chart, but it's not so complicated. Half of the companies say that they will increase turnover, they will employ more people, and they will invest more than they did last year, which is a very positive aspect. So it's the right part here. We asked factors turnover, number of employees, and investment. And for a lot of the Austrian companies, these three factors will be increased for this year. Next slide, please. That's a core question. I like this very much because you know, Invest in Macedonia is very active when it comes to attracting foreign investment to Macedonia. Some of you are laughing. So that's a core slide. We asked how attractive Macedonia is. And again here you can see that the picture became a little bit more pessimistic. We have nearly 1/4 of the companies who say that the attractiveness of Macedonia for foreign direct investment, including Austrian companies, has become poorer or has become more problematic. Only half of them say it's satisfactory. 0% say this year, by comparison to 13% of last year, 0% say now that there is no attractiveness, or the attractiveness is not very good. So this is unfortunately not a positive picture. The bigger the gap, the bigger the problem is. So you have to read this slide from left to right. And the biggest problem is fight against corruption, good payment moral, and perspective on EU accession. These are the top 3 priorities for Austrian companies in Macedonia. Once again, fight against corruption, good payment moral, and perspective on EU accession. I think also for designers, fight against corruption is quite important. Good payment moral as well, to be paid for your work. And perspective on EU accession is also important, since the prospects for Macedonia joining the EU are a very crucial point, So that brings me to my last slide, please. What are your expectations and wishes towards the Macedonian government? For the very first time, and we do this survey now for 3 years in a row, for the very first time, political stability is the #1 issue. Of course, it's quite understandable if you look at the current political situation in Macedonia. Political stability, #1 issue. Fight against corruption and legal security, rule of law. These are the most important wishes towards the Macedonian government. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. It took me exactly 6.5 minutes. Thank you very much for your attention. If you ever are interested in working with Austrian companies, or if you want to found a company, if you want to export to Austria, import from Austria, anything that has to do with business with Austria, then please contact our office. Our office is directly at Brostadt, above the Renncafe, if you know where it is, opposite of Marriott Hotel. So I see directly Alexander the Great, which is great every day. I see Alexander the Great. Then please contact us and feel free to do business with Austria. And I'm happy that we have representatives of the design sector from Austria here as well, because it's a crucial point. Everywhere where you look at, there's design. This is quite interesting. And I'm happy that we have strong Austrian companies in the design sector as well. And without much further ado, I'd like to give back the microphone. Thank you.
Iva Šilović. I'm work for Prostoria, which is company from Croatia, furniture producer. I will give you a short presentation of who we are and what we do, and then I will try to get to the points that might be interesting for you, for designers. So, we are a young design-oriented company from Croatia. This is the overview of our products. We have been using mainly upholstered furniture in the beginning, but we have moved on to chairs, armchairs, small tables, accessories, different things, so we are spreading the range. We are a very young company. We started only in 2011. This is our headquarters, where our direction and the production is situated. We have about 2,000 square meters of production. We produce everything in our production under one roof. So we have in one place, I won't go into details but you get the idea of what we do. I think what is important is that we do everything, we cooperate very tightly, the direction, the designers and the production all the time, every day, practically 24 hours a day. So actually at the very beginning we started a cooperation with HDD, the Croatian Designer Association. We made a competition for a sofa bed. The designers from Numan for Use and with Ivana Borovnjak and Roberta Bratovic won the competition. We did this sofa bed, and for that we, I mean it was a very important experience for us to see how you get from the idea, from the project, which was great and interesting, and we saw the potential, but really getting to a final product that works, that looks good, that's practical. It took us time, and it succeeded in the end, and we won, so right at the beginning, the Red Dot Design Award. That was the push for us as a company at the very beginning. Later on, from this competition, we started with the designers from Grupa. We developed also a series of products called Triangle. It became also very successful for us. Then we did another 2 sofa beds. And I don't know, Daniela, you have been to our stands. It's really interesting to see the reactions of the people coming to our stands on the fair. When we open those sofa beds, because we always put them in one line, and we open and close them all the time, and people are really going like, oh, Yeah, but it's really like a theater. And it shows, everyone says it's so clever, it's so easy, I cannot believe, it's like you really see there how the good design and the clever idea important is. Okay, this is a sofa bed is a special product, but still it shows that. So just to show you what else we do with another designer from Zagreb, Simon Petrčić. We have been working with him in the last year on quite a lot of projects, and so we are moving in a bit different direction.